Hello and welcome. I'm Vincent Makori and this is Africa 54. We begin in Egypt. Citizens vote on a draft constitution. There was high security at polling stations in Cairo after 9 people were killed on Tuesday, the first day of polling. Leaders hope the new constitutional draft will set the stage for a transition away from the Islamism of ex-President Mohamed Morsi. We have more from VOA's Elizabeth Arrott in Cairo.
Egyptians lined up to take part in the first electoral test of the nation's military-backed interim government, a referendum on a new constitution. Supporters hope it will mark the beginning of the roadmap for Egypt after the ouster of Islamist President Mohamed Morsi last year.
I think it's going to be a positive step and bring good to Egypt, God willing, and we'll be a new world and make up for all of the past.
Officials, including de facto leader General Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, have been pushing hard for a yes vote. Signs in favor of a new charter are everywhere, while the military has brought out youth to literally sing the charter's praises. A committee of mostly non-Islamist Egyptians wrote the new version. The third in as many years, it grants a wide range of freedoms.
This is the very
But constitutional lawyer Ahmed Kamal Abu al-Magd says Egypt lacks the political will and institutions to back it up.
I really appreciate the job done by the Committee of 50. But all this can be changed overnight. And nobody would raise a finger to say this is not serious, this is not true.
Many see this as a referendum not just on a new set of laws, but on the future leadership of Egypt. Specifically, whether General Sisi will become the latest in the country's long tradition of military men as president.
We see him as a leader, and if this referendum is about Sisi, then welcome.
The defense minister is expected to announce a run for president if the charter is approved, which, in addition to a brutal crackdown on Mr. Morsi's Muslim Brotherhood and others, is one of several issues that splits an already deeply divided nation. The Brotherhood, now branded a terrorist group, has called for a boycott of the vote, seeing it as an attempt to legitimize what it calls the coup against Mr. Morsi. And it's not just most Islamists against the charter. Some longtime secular activists have urged a boycott, while others have been arrested simply for advocating a no vote. Security analyst Sameh Saif al-Yazl.
They're against the constitution, the new constitution. But again, they are very much minority. So I don't think this will really affect the majority of saying yes to the new constitution.
But in Egypt, many of the most important changes have happened because of actions by minorities on the street, not majorities at the ballot box. Elizabeth Arrott, VOA News, Cairo.
Now for the latest, VOA's Cairo correspondent Elizabeth Arrott joins us now via Skype. Elizabeth, tell us, where do things stand right now as we speak?
Well, it's been a more peaceful second day of voting. It's about to wrap up shortly after a very bumpy day yesterday in which 11 people were killed. There's been some little scattered violence today, but by and large, it's passed fairly well today.
Well, everybody's waiting for the final numbers. How critical are those numbers to all parties?
Well, already the government has been saying that this is the highest turnout that they've had in any of the votes since the 2011 revolution. That's very key to their argument that they are trying to legitimize themselves. There was the Muslim Brotherhood has won at the voting polls every time, all the 5 votes that have taken place since 2011. So this is the new government, the military-backed government's chance to show that it's better than all that. And even though no official numbers are out, they're claiming, sort of this overwhelming, huge turnout. The Muslim Brotherhood, meanwhile, is saying that, nobody's been going to the polls. It's a mixed bag. It really depends on the areas. The South and also around Alexandria have been Brotherhood places, lower turnout, and we'll just have to wait to see on the numbers.
Well, in terms of, the general population, there were speculation, or rather there was statements earlier that a majority of the people actually even prefer a military ruling in Egypt than civilians. How accurate is that sentiment?
It's hard to gauge. There seems to be a certain amount of groupthink going on. Certainly all the media at this point, virtually all media, is backing the military government and promoting General Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the de facto leader, as the potential savior of Egypt. So a lot of people might be going along with it just for that. But also the military offers a sense of stability. It's things people know for decades, has kept Egypt, if stagnant, at least stable. And after 3 years of chaos, a lot of people like it just for that reason.
Now, there are many who had expressed interest in running the country, but at this point, is Sisi an obvious frontrunner if this transitional constitutional draft passes?
Absolutely. And even the people who have expressed an interest all very, very thoughtfully and kindly say they'll run as long as General Sisi doesn't run. And if he does run, then they'll bow out. So he definitely is the front runner at this point.
All right. Thank you, Elizabeth. Elizabeth
Thank you.
Arrott, Voice of America's Cairo correspondent. Now,